claim is ours.
I'll make this easy for you. Leave now,
Or we kill you. I'm happy either way.
The time has come for something new. Something to change the game. When seeking fortunes at the fringes of civilization, you need someone you can trust. In this age of uncertainty, it's time to take back your strength. It's time to release the Kraken. Drake Interplanetary. We got your back.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's the sequel Shipyard episode today. I did one earlier today where I initially checked out the Ironclad Assault, and now I'm back to talk a little bit more about it, to talk about other things too that we just briefly covered today. I was under a very short time window. But I now have more time to talk about this stuff, and I had a window, and I wanted to test some back-end stuff that shouldn't affect how you all see everything. But I wanted to test some back-end restream bit rate fixes and some stuff like that to see how it performed before we get to our first DefenseCon episode on Thursday, which I do plan on being a pretty massive episode, okay? So that's why I'm doing the double stream. I usually don't do this type of bullshit where I stream multiple times a day or anything like that, but that's why I'm doing that, if you were curious. Kind of a little bit of a test, and I had the opportunity. So nice to see everyone in chat. Hopefully my voice is not too awfully terrible. I'm here with Art and his son. Art, how are you, bud?
Art and a Munchkin.
Art and little Art. Defy, you haven't missed anything, buddy. We just got started. So yeah, today again, like I said, everyone, I wanted to talk more about the Ironclad, give a little bit more patient opinion on the ship. Obviously, it's a big ship for me. Yes, thank you, Simon. The bot is not running, but me and Art are going to try to grab questions if we see them. Just put your word question in caps with brackets so we can really see it. We'll try to grab it. If we miss it, do apologize. But again, checked out the Ironclad earlier today with my boy VMXEO. Had a great time, but it was short, and I wanted to be able to expand on that a little bit more. Now, before we go too deep, big shout out to all of you in chat again with our St. Jude stuff here. $44,262 raised for April and half of May now, essentially. Looks like our last donation was from Brian Havoc a little bit earlier, towards the Aurora Mark 1 series pack, which we're going to give away on the 14th as well this Thursday. Texas Horny Toad came in big with a $200 donation earlier, and Paul V with $140. We have some great donations today, so thank you very much, everyone. See Beg for Mercy in chat, Brian Havoc, Danger Elbow, Sandgroper. I watched you earlier today with Execute, so that was nice. VMXEO, Bunker Fist, Genetonic, all the people, all the regulars showing up. Nice to see everybody. If I didn't call your name, don't worry. I do see you and do appreciate you being here. Let's go ahead and go over a few top of thing announcements really quick here. I do have a giveaway running tonight, everybody, and it's going to be for the Red Line patch bundle. It doesn't get any better than this, everyone. Drake all the way. You can expect me to give away a few of these. This thing makes the Buccaneer look good, okay? Comes with a really cool Drake flight suit and a cool gun. It's got Drake on it. Doesn't get any better than that. How do you get in on this? Well, it's very easy. If you're over on YouTube, you just got to leave a, just go to the link pinned to the top or bottom of chat. Leave a comment on that video. It's my new player guide video. Leave a comment there. I'm going to pull a random winner. And if you're over on Twitch, you know what to do. It's exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket max. Okay. Go ahead and get on that. Just started. So go ahead and enter it now. That is running. I'll do that drawing here tonight. Okay. We'll get in on that. The big thing though, I want to talk about, and this is big, and I want y'all to remember this. Okay. I want you to remember this. The Ironclad giveaway is running. Okay. I am giving this ship away this, this Thursday. Okay, on Drake Day, day one of Defense Con, someone is winning an Ironclad. Okay, the ship we're here to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about other stuff tonight. So if you're one of the YouTube people that watch my videos and see the title and then go into the comments and say he didn't start talking about such and such till halfway through the episode, I am sorry. It's going to be one of those episodes. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. The Ironclad will be a big focus of our discussion, though, which is why it's on there. As the show title. Ox, thank you very much for that donation, $95 donation. Appreciate that towards the Ironclad Assault. But this Ironclad giveaway right here is free to enter. This is not one of the St. Jude raffles. This is my own personal giveaway. If you want to get in on that, there's a Gleam link you need to follow. I'll post that right down in chat. Boom, boom, and boom. There you go. Hopefully you can see that Gleam link. Just click there. It's free to enter. We will throw everyone in the random wheel of names. Now, if you all remember, over the months of March and April, those of you that were watching, was real quick. CS from DT says Gleam sucks. You know, it's as good as any of the others that do this sort of giveaway handling, and it tracks their emails really well with no spam. All the others I've tried have spam out the wazoo. So I use this one because it's the hardest to. In my experience testing them, it's the hardest to scam with spam. So I've been using it. Would I like a different option? Yeah, because Gleam ain't cheap. But for right now, it's the one that I don't seem to get spam and red flag stuff happening in. So that's why I use it. If I can come up with something better, I will consider it for sure. So yeah. Spectre says, I think the new player video wasn't pinned for YouTube peeps. Interesting. Okay.
You pasted. You've got the Gleam link posted.
Okay. Did I post it?
Let
me post it directly.
The Gleam link is pinned.
Sorry. Let me grab. Sorry. Yep. Sorry, everyone. Let me grab the video that you need to leave the comment on. Apologies. That was my mess. Mess up. Let me. There we go. Repinned it. There you go. Got a new pin. That should work for you. But yes. Okay. So get in on that, giving that away. So for the months of, March and April, I was tracking, and I think February too. Whenever I started, I was tracking who all was watching streams. Okay. For every 30 minutes you were watching a stream live, you essentially got an extra ticket added to your Ironclad ticket repository. Now, I've did some back-end testing on this. I don't know if it's going to show up in your percentage chance of winning. And the reason is because I have to enter it all via an Excel document. It's an Excel document I upload into Gleam, and it takes into account all those extra tickets. The only thing is in my testing, it didn't seem to affect the previewed percentage chance of winning. So I guess what I'm going to say about that is if you don't see anything like that, don't panic. I do have them all in there. There's quite a few. So don't panic on that. The system seems to be working. It just seems that Gleam isn't registering the extra tickets in terms of the percentage preview, but your extra tickets there are there in terms of enhancing your chance of winning. I think Gleam's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working, but I got you covered. Okay. This is Grim. I got you covered. Hopefully you all Trust me, believe in me. Okay, got you covered.
So socially confused says that we just have to adjust his chances to 100%.
Oh, okay, then we're good.
No, no complaints.
Yes, yes. You all should see I'm drinking out of my Kraken Captain mug here, straight from the StarJump merch store.
I gotta get me a Polaris Captain one.
You do. It holds a coffee well. It holds a coffee well. You're sitting there drinking an energy drink, buddy, and I'm drinking a Kraken Captain coffee. So yes, get in on the Ironclad giveaway. Do appreciate it. Real quick, last top of show announcement here. The May raffles for St. Jude. Okay, get in on that. Got a QR code right down the bottom of the screen. We also got a St. Jude link that I can pin right now. Art, you may have to post that into YouTube, or I can.
I got it.
Thank you, buddy. But again, this May 14th, Drake Day. Not only are we giving an Ironclad away, but we're giving a daggum 3 clippers away via raffle for St. Jude, $25 donation to the Tiltify link. I also will probably have a giveaway from CIG that day. If I'm not 100% sure, but I have a feeling they're going to give me a pit bull. We'll see. No promises, but we'll see. That seems very CIG. Hey, everyone, there's GearCon in chat. We're talking about these amazing ship raffles right now. Everyone give GearCon an 07 for handing over all these ships to you all for the raffle season for St. Jude. How generous is that? Want to give Gear a big 07. On May 20th, $40 donation. You can get a Tiburon, a ticket to the Tiburon raffle. May 27th, and that's May 20th is Aegis Day. May 27th, we're going to do a raffle for an Ironclad Assault, $35 donation. We'll get you a ticket for that. And then on the 31st, we have 2 big ones to wrap up Play Live for the year. $60 ticket, $60 donation will get you a ticket for a Polaris if you want one, and a $100 donation will get you a ticket for the Masters of Industry pack, which contains a Pioneer, an Arastra, Reclaimer, Mole, Holby, Vulture, Golem, and Hercules. Okay, so get in on that if it interests you at all. Again, big shout out to GearCon for offering those up. I couldn't do it without him. He's been absolutely amazing. Again, winners will be contacted within 5 days of drawing via email. Winners will have 7 days from the time the notification email is sent to claim their prize. Failure to do so in that specified window will be cause for a new drawing and a new winner. Okay, so there it is. You all know the drill. It's not our first rodeo. Okay, we've talked about that. Let's get into some stuff now. We got a reminder from CIG today about DefenseCon and one of the comms link post. And we're sort of getting that, today with the Ironclad hitting the PTU. Okay, we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. We may dive back in and check out the Ironclad live. But I want to talk about it a little bit first because I think there is enough to talk about here. But again, DefenseCon only 1 day, 15 hours away. So coming up quick. We've all seen the trailer multiple times. It is a fantabulous trailer. Obviously being held at Area 18 at the Bevic Convention Center. So if you are logging back into the game for the first time for this patch and haven't set your home location, you might want to do it at Area 18. Make it easy on yourselves. In addition, we do have the schedule. Okay. Starting off with Drake there on May 14th, 15th. I tried to line up my shows and raffle giveaway stuff along with the schedule. I couldn't do that perfectly just for reasons. But for example, May 20th is the Tiburon raffle. My Ironclad giveaway will be on May 14th. We have an Ironclad Assault raffle, I think on, was it the 27th? I think 27th. On the last day of DefenseCon, essentially. So it'll be a nice way to celebrate DefenseCon. So, yes. So coming up really quickly, I know it's kind of a weird one because I feel like a lot of the big ship, well, all the big ship reveals at this point have been revealed. So we don't really have any secrets going into DefenseCon. And before, another $100 donation from Ox. Thank you very much, Ox. I appreciate that. Towards the Master of Industry pack. I guess that's the first thing I would open up to you, Art. How do you feel about everything sort of being revealed at this point?
I'm
good, bad? I don't know.
I like it, but I don't.
Yeah.
Part of me is like, it's kind of great because there's no surprises. We know what we're getting into. On the other side of that, the silhouette was a lot of fun. It was a lot of time for speculation. It felt like we were kind of investigating things. CIG would drop us little tidbits here and there, and this was kind of like, I think they got so much else on their plate with Squadron that it was just like, let's get this out of the way. Let's just do this, set it up to make the most money as possible, give everybody kind of heads up what we're looking at, and then just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting because they're doing it so differently this year. I'm very interested to see if, what they pull in money-wise this year, because I do think a lot of times it's the ships, obviously, that are being on offer, right? That cause you to raise more money. Of course, that's a big part of it. But then I think a little bit is that sort of that excitement, that surprise. And I do feel like CIG's goal here was to try to get ahead of any sort of leaks. The interesting thing about that, though, is I really feel like they had sort of like the leaks kind of buttoned up, unless I'm mistaken. I mean, it's been really kind of dry. Here's, and I'll go ahead and qualify this for those that don't know this. I sort of put things into two categories. There's leaks, obviously, and then there's data mines. I don't think of data mines as anything special. Like, I don't look at the leaker and go, man, thank God they put that out there. It's a data mine. There's going to be tons of people that data mine stuff. There's not just one person. There's like 500 people in the community that data mine every build that drops almost immediately. That's why the information comes so fast and furious. A leak is something different to me. A leak is coming from a developer or some sort of stuff that wasn't meant to be public, and it has thus leaked out. A data mine is something, very, very different, where they're just data mining code that has been pushed to the public. And my opinion on that, I don't know what CIG thinks about this, but my opinion on that is once you've pushed the code out there, it's now out there. So, I mean, it's going to get data mined. So anything CIG puts into the builds, I mean, I don't want to say it's fair game, but it's kind of fair game in some ways, right? So anyway, it'll be interesting to see this year with all the stuff being put out early, how it affects sales. I think if anything, it's a good thing in some way, because it allows people to sort of prep the wallet, right? And or start to figure out what ships they're melting, start to strategize a little bit. What it also may mean, though, is it may mean that CIG or let buyers, where maybe they originally were going to spring for a Ironclad on day one, now that they've seen that Tiburon, there's probably going to be a few people that don't put that little bit of money they were going to spend at DefenseCon, towards an Ironclad, and they wait till the 20th, right, to get that Tiburon. Whereas before, maybe they put the money in on the Ironclad right away, not just thinking the Tiburon was maybe just a run-of-the-mill Hammerhead variant, and then the Tiburon comes out, they're real excited, and they melt the Ironclad and get the Tiburon or CCU from it, or whatever the case. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how the funding goes this year. I have no doubts, though, that they're going to make a ton of money. Genetonic says it right there in chat. Prediction: we break $1 billion for raised before the end of the month, and I think that's very accurate. I know. I don't know how CIG will recognize the 1 billion raised, because I think internally we look at it on the funding tracker side of things, where we're like, $1 billion's been raised. I think CIG doesn't look at it that way, because they are looking at it from a 1 billion over 12 years. But yes, we spend tons of money every month on development of games, so we're nowhere near. So I think they look at it very differently, but we'll see. I think the first thing, though, I want to talk about is in relation to the Ironclad here. So let's kind of open up our conversation to that, and I'm going to bring up some images before we hop into game to check it out in person. But we were having this conversation earlier, and I think it's one worth having. As we all know, the Ironclad is now in the PTU, and everyone's been there checking out, just dropped today. And the big thing has been that it's broken, right? There's quite a few issues with it. There's holes all throughout the ship. There are lighting issues. The command module doesn't work. You got to get in the ship in the most roundabout way. There's a lot of issues. And in some ways, I feel like it doesn't present the ships in the best light. And to be fair, PTU is for testing, but I think it does make me think of that sort of question, like how should these new ships that are coming out, especially big important ones like the Ironclad, should they be going into or Evo and going into the testing cycle much earlier? I don't know how you feel about that, Art, but you were kind of saying something before the show on that, and I was curious what your opinion was on it. Oh, you're muted. We want to hear you.
Failure. Admonish me.
Huge fail.
I think the big thing is, the fact that they were trying to kind of hold it back till last minute is a poor excuse. I think it's something that they should have sent this back to Evo. Let the Evo testers test this. Get at least more hands on it. Even if it was a select group in Evo, I wouldn't care. But this is now the second ship that they've kind of dropped that's had issues with it. When you're looking at the Moth. The Moth had a whole bunch of bugs, and it took a whole patch to fix that.
That's true.
Now, granted, they still caught this in PTU, so they were doing hot fixes this morning on it, and have kicked out a hot fix or two. Or have they released a hot fix? Maybe they haven't yet.
Not yet. There's rumors of one coming.
But
tonight.
But here's the thing: is it's a poor decision. This ship is very hyped. A lot of people have been excited about it. This is one of the bigger ships this year, as far as we know. Might be the biggest, depending on whether or not if we get the Galaxy or not at IAE. So, for them to not have this ready, it's a big problem, because what other ships are they releasing that are not ready? And is this going to be the Defense Con where Drake presented it and CIG destroyed it? Because they didn't have anything ready, and it was a mess.
Yeah. Rock King 27 with a $175 donation. Thank you very much, dude. Appreciate that generosity. And real quick, everyone, before we move too far ahead, Ox, thank you for that subscription. And by the way, all the followers coming in, we just hit a follower goal, so thank you very much. A follower goal of 8,600. Ox, Commander Wade, Stack, No Beard, Shadow Dragon, Red Wolf, Ithwan. Hopefully I said that right. Probably didn't. Carlieth, Comrade, Redmond, Hotel Victor Tango, Warlock, Adonzik. Hopefully I said that right. Twerk Magic, Art's alter ego, Trash Kanda. I have a suppressor for one of my 300 blackout guns called Trash Panda. Where's the X Gaming, Fortune and Glory, Riot 20, Fizzy Phoenix. Those are from earlier. Thank you, everyone, for the follows. Do appreciate it.
We need to schedule a Grim at Art 2 range day.
We really do, because I got a whole bunch of new firearms that need to be tested.
I need some black powder therapy.
I got 2 300 blackout subsonic or suppressed, and one new AR-15. All of these need to be run through here.
I'm here for it.
Okay.
Just a phone call away.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion on this in regards to the Ironclad or any big ship, important marquee ship, is that I would like it to go into the testing cycle, the testing sort of playground earlier, not 3 days before it's supposed to go on sale. Now, the argument could be made, well, CIG put it in the PTU for testing, and I get that, and I do appreciate that. I think it's just a thing where it's like, could the Ironclad have gone into the PTU cycle 2 weeks ago? And the idea being going to Evo, holding Evo more hardcore to those NDAs, right? And I know it's impossible not to hold everything back from Evo. And CIG's in a tricky position where they want to have something to surprise people with for Defense Con and stuff like that. At the same time, some of these ships need to be tested. And I think that there's a healthy balance there, because and there's 2 ways maybe to do this. One, you had all these other ships you could have kept secret. You know what I mean? But you revealed those two. And I think there was some strategy behind that, but perhaps some strategy that we don't know about. And I would, won't be so naive to say that CIG is not making the right decision here, because obviously they are really good at marketing. But it does beg the question, like they know that people are going to jump in the PTU to check this out. Why? Because Jared said it was going to be Ironclad on Monday and everyone got excited. They almost advertise it. So when that first experience with it is subpar, I feel like it does take a little bit of the wind out of the sails for Drake Day. Now, what I think would have been maybe more interesting is get this ship in testing earlier, and then some of those ships like the Pitbull, the M80, the Starlight, smaller ships that aren't nearly as complicated, that while perhaps still having issues that need to be fixed upon release, they're much simpler ship with a much more narrow focused bit of gameplay that I think they could have like fixed via strike team really quickly. Where the Ironclad, the marquee ship, probably should have been out in front of testing a little bit, or maybe the testing is going on internally as best they can. And while it's not at scale, so it's not being tested across, what we're seeing in this PTU environment. But again, I think what sticks out so much with the Ironclad is that the issues with it today were so glaring. You know what I mean? It's like the entire command module didn't function. You know what I mean? And that's a pretty big one. So here's the thing though. Is any of this going to quote unquote hurt sales or hurt DefenseCon or anything like that? I don't think so. It's just more one of those things like first impressions, but you have to sort of prepare yourself for that. And anyone who's been playing a Star System for a long time, I think they're sort of automatically programmed for that. I mean, I always sort of fast forward my mind. Let's picture it's this time next year. Okay. DefenseCon's about to hit. My Kraken is about to release. Okay. I'm sure the CIG is going to make a huge deal out of the Kraken landing. I want that first, and maybe I'm being like slightly overly poetic with it, but I've been wanting and dreaming about flying the Ironclad the Kraken since 2019. Right. So I want that first moment when it comes out of the hangar, and it's rising up. I want that to be amazing. Right. I want that to live up to expectation. Now, pragmatic people may say, Graham, just wait till it's live. Don't jump in the PTU where it's, it's going to be broken. But, it's impossible. So we have a few questions here that we're going to jump into in a minute, everyone. We are trying to grab questions we see. But overall impressions of the Ironclad, and I know I talked a little bit about this earlier, and I was kind of distracted as I was running around the game. So I wanted to be able to talk about it a little bit more, a little bit more intent. Was my overall impressions of the ship are that it is exactly what they advertised. There's no areas where you feel like they skimped. There's no areas where you feel like, oh, this is not quite the concept. If anything, what they've done here is big hats off to CIG. They've taken the concept, and it's everything the concept was, and then they added that little bit extra that pushed it over that line, right? That expectation line. And I think whenever, hey, Stratobrick, hope you're doing well, buddy. I think whenever CIG can do that with ships that go from concept to flight ready, I think that's really, really exciting. And I have a little bit of hope they're going to do that with the Galaxy. And what do I mean by that? Well, and I hope this is with the Kraken as well. But the ship that comes out is everything the concept said it would be, right? It has all the features you were hoping for, or all this, that, and the other. But then CIG adds one or two little things, not things that totally change the ship, but just these little extras that push the ship slightly beyond the concept expectations. And I do think that is what CIG does really well when they do it. And when they do it, it's almost always a win. And I could call out a few things with the Ironclad right away. One of the big ones I think that I've been hearing a lot of people talk about is the size 5 torpedoes in the VLS system that they've added to it, right? Again, just really, really unexpected and kind of a big deal. I think kind of a big deal, right? And that included with a bunch of other smaller little details added throughout the ship, I think could go a long way. I would say the Ironclad, another big win for it is, and I do like to call this out when it happens. I think I even said this to Gavin Rothery on Twitter earlier today, was that it's whenever a ship can be translated from concept to flight ready and retain that so much of its concept identity, I think that's an important thing and important for everyone who's purchased one, right? There have been ships that, and there's people on both sides of the fence for it. There's been ships that have missed that mark, right? And I use an easy one right off the bat as an example, the Carrack, the Anvil Carrack. The Anvil Carrack is a ship that started life in multiple different iterations, and the ship we got, some people really like, and some people really dislike. You know what I mean? I remember when the Carrack first came out, people talked about how much it had fattened up, right? The Mercury Star Runner is another one of those ships. So it started to differ from its original concept. Some like the new concept, some don't like the new concept, and people get pretty serious about that. For the older concepts, that is a risk. I mean, as we've seen as much with the Pioneer, right? The Pioneer's undergone a pretty heavy concept change. Not just its interior, which is completely changed, but its exterior has had changes as well. Right. So those old concepts are always in danger of that. Now, the Ironclad, the Galaxy, I think they're going to sort of look exactly like you expect because they're newer concepts. And I think they're going to kind of look the way they look. But a lot of these older concepts, I would expect major changes to their exteriors. You know, obviously the Endeavor, obviously the Crucible, obviously the Starliner, but even other ships like the Vulcan, you know, the Nautilus, there's other ships that may get slightly bigger changes than we have expected just because the game has changed so much. So circling back to the Ironclad on this discussion, I think it's just really cool that the ship held so true to its look and concept. I think that's always a win for CIG. Where do I, let's give this a grim grade. Where do I grade the Ironclad on a sort of 1 to 10 scale? 10 being they absolutely 100% nailed it. And, you know, I can't give this a full, you know, play tested grade. So I'm going to give it my early preview grade here. And that is meaning I haven't done missions with the ship yet. I haven't used it in combat or anything like that. Just purely off the design, external and internal design, its internal layout, how useful some of the important parts of the ship are. So, for example, with the Ironclad being a cargo ship, how useful is the tractor beam? You know what I mean? Specific stuff like that. That I was able to test. And I think with the Ironclad, based off its role, based off the things you need on the ship to accomplish that role, I'm going to give it a 9.2. A 9.2. Okay. Or let's just call it a 9. Why not a 10? In this early preview state, I'm still that little bit of reservation. Hey, Distroy, hope you're doing well. That little bit of the little bit of reservation is all around the command module. It's new feature tech. There's times where CIG lets new feature tech kind of release. It gets a fix or two and then is left to rot for a while. This ship lives and dies by that feature tech working, that command module feature tech. And I do fully expect CIG to keep it up, keep it working good. But I'm always because this ship cannot be flown without that damn command module. There's a little part of me that looks at that command module as a little bit of an Achilles heel. Now, to be fair, that's not a surprising thing. We knew that from the day this ship was concepted, right? But that's why I can't give it that 10, because my God, you have one day where the feature tech is just being weird and you can't dock that command module. You're out of luck. You know what I mean? And I do think that's a little bit of a knock on this ship. Everything else about it, from its internal stylings, its external stylings, its usability for the role it's given, chef's kiss, they nailed it. Perfect, right? Command modules, it's sort of Achilles heel. Now onto the Ironclad Assault, okay? swing to that one here, and then Art, I want to get your opinion on this. And I know you maybe haven't checked it out as fully, but Ironclad Assault, where is this one sitting for me? Well, as a cargo transporter, as a vehicle repair transporter ship, right? Needing to be much more heavily upgunned, all that kind of stuff. In my initial, again, haven't tried this out in testing, but in terms of all that, I think it covers it quite well. I even like some of the little details they added where in the cargo area, there are clearly marked areas where repair happens, where cargo storage happens. I thought it was really cool. I'm glad VMXEO pointed that out to me. This thing is guns everywhere. Okay. The size 5 torps being added, all that kind of good stuff. I am also going to put this at a 9. And the funny thing was, if you had asked me a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I probably would have graded this one a little bit lower because I really had a hard time understanding what the Ironclad Assault was for. But again, I think with the cargo capacity of this ship going up, this ship, to me, really becomes the new good all-rounder. I'm not totally sure what this ship is meant to replace. I mean, I can tell you right now, if I had an M2 or a C2 or anything like that, especially an M2, it'd be melted for this ship. Absolutely. It just would. So I'm putting them both at 9s. I do want to test both of them in their gameplay element. You know what I mean? But I do think both of them, even with that gameplay, I'm still going to be a little concerned about the command module stuff. I think people are going to target the command module in combat, which makes sense. You probably should. So I think it's its Achilles heel. And here's the thing. That's okay. A ship being a 9 is a good thing on my list. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. I'm not trying to get into like full on war with the Ironclad. But it is something to consider. And if anything, I think the 9s show how well done the ship is. Again, an initial, preview kind of scoping. Now, if I get in and test these ships in their actual gameplay role and really feel them out and they do not perform up to snuff, I'm going to revise my grade. You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep a rolling list of all the ship grades I give. I'm going to give every ship that comes out in DefenseCon a grade. And I'll revise it. And even though I'm a Drake fanboy, if it's not hitting the marks, it's not hitting the marks, and we'll update that. But right now, I'm saying 9. I'm really, really impressed with what CIG has done. Art, have you been in game to check it out yet?
Yeah, I've walked around in game and just kind of glanced at it. I've watched a few of my while I was at work today. A couple of the guys were streaming, so I was able to kind of hop in real quick and be like, "Hey, let's check it out and stuff."
Yeah.
Was decently impressed with its overall design and how close it stayed with concept. I agree with you. That was really well done, and that shows that they're more, I guess, dedicated in these later concept ships that they've had, or these ones that they announce to getting us to be able to release these ships as close as possible to their actual, what they've actually designed them to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you check out both versions, or just the base, or just the assault?
The assault.
Yeah.
I care less for cargo. Yeah.
Well,
the vertical torpedoes was a huge bonus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a little jealous that they didn't put those on a few other ships. I hope that they're going to come to more ships. I hope maybe something like the Tiburon would have those in there as well.
Yeah.
But
we've seen them on one other ship, or what looks to be one other ship, and that is the Odin. We're going to talk about the Odin in just a minute. Fail-proof, thank you for that $40 donation. Appreciate you, bud. Everyone, we're at $44,672. We passed our follower goal on Twitch tonight. We're at 8,605 followers. You're all incredible.
I do like that a ship of this quality too, and this size and stuff, it does have a weakness to it.
Yeah. I mean,
at the end of the day, it is still kind of done by a cargo module. Fail-proof. We got 5 gifted subs.
Oh, fail-proof. Thank you very much. To appreciate that. I think we're going to have to hit you with the old double salute for gifting some subs. Appreciate that, buddy. Fail-proof of 5 gifted subs. Everyone give them an 07. Thank you very much, fail-proof. Yeah, I mean, I initially was sort of like, okay, which which version of the Ironclad am I going to keep? Because I have both the assault and the base, and I got to tell you, see, I run a lot of cargo too. So for me, like when I'm playing by myself, I'm cargo all day long. It's just a nice, almost like relaxing, meditative place I can take myself. And I got to tell you, it really is a tough decision because while normally I would just keep the base, the assault can carry a lot of cargo. Now you don't have the tractor beams, which is a major hit against it for cargo. But with ATLSs, it's kind of like, well, but I think I've come to the decision. I think I'm going to keep both. They really both serve a function in my quote unquote fleet. And I'm really happy with both ships. So I think, keeping both of them, I feel good about that. I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm having too much overlap. I do think they serve sort of different purposes. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, we've done some discussion initially in the org, kind of looking at things. And one of the things that me and the org leader kind of went together and decided was the assault especially would make a great fob. If I'm looking to control some area, put a respawn, vehicle in there or two, and load it up with, with the loadouts now, we'll have the weapons racks. We can load up weapons rack, have an armory for supplies and stuff.
Yeah.
Load some heavier equipment on there, and then plop that thing down, in an area, and that's a fob.
Yeah.
And that is something that we can work off of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then take the command module up there and bring down a second one for a different thing on another site or whatever else,
And in the future, even extending beyond that, in the future, when we have the ability to set up our own maglock stores where we can maglock things and to the grid and sell items, and we have our trading kiosk or crafting stations, being able to put those on the cargo grid of something like the assault, which already has a crafting station in it, but you put some more in. You really, but the assault has enough room to carry some vehicles, a big couple crafting stations, and still have a lot on the cargo grid. Again, you start to get into this place where you have this ship that can accomplish a lot of different things. It goes very much back to my argument on the Kraken, which is, it's not to get into the argument of like, oh, which big capital ship is better. It's not that one's better than the other. It's just the Kraken is the most flexible. It really is for general gameplay purposes. You can do combat in it because I think it's going to have a massive amount of weaponry on it. I really do think it's still got capital shields, capital protection. Yes, it's Drake, but it's still going to be tough in a fight. It's going to have support capabilities for combat, but also support capabilities for industrial. And we don't know yet what CIG is going to add to the ship that may just take on native industrial applications as well. John Cruz already referred to the Kraken as an in-game cargo hauler as well. He actually referred to that on stream. He called it an in-game cargo ship. So you see what I'm saying? It's one of those ships that it appeals to a lot of different players, where something like the Javelin or even the Pioneer, they're applying to someone who's doing a very specific type of gameplay. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to spend a lot of money and you're looking for a ship that can do a lot of what your future unknowns may be, the Kraken fits it. And I think that's what this Ironclad Assault does. It's got just enough of everything. You know what I mean? That it's not to say these ships are, thank you, Karsten. Appreciate that, buddy. It's not to say that any of these ships are cheap. It's just to say that, like, hey, if you're going to spend the money, at least spend it in a way where your dollars go in the distance. You know what I mean? So it's covering a lot. And again, it's not to say you should always base your purchases off that. If you need a hard and fast combat ship, the Perseus might be the one you should get. You know what I mean? But it's more for those people like myself who really do think to themselves, I know what I like to do now, but I also don't know totally what I'm going to want to do in 1.0 or 8 years from now or whatever. It goes a long way in that regard. So, now I have some pictures here of the interior. I'm looking at some pictures of the captain's or the owner's Koltos. Okay. I gotta say, man, they gave Drake a vibe. They really gave Drake a vibe. One thing they don't have on here, and I do hope it's an oversight, is I was hoping to see a security camera to the door up on this little CRT. That is not there. CIG, please consider updating that. But come on. You can pick these cigars up, I'm just going to say. You can actually interact with them and pick them up. That alone is cool. There's a Drake chessboard. We've got chessboards in other ships, but this one comes with a Drake chessboard. How cool is that? The owner's suite has 2 windows, one out the back and one out the front. That is really cool. It's got the couch, got the bed, got the bathroom. So again, I think CIG nailed just the vibe of the ship. Internal space, cavernous, not a lot of place to set up and work within. I do sincerely hope. Sergeant Perry says, Sergeant Grand, that screen is a camera to the hull. I saw it on mine. Oh, cool. It wasn't working on mine. That makes me happy, Sergeant Perry. That does make me happy. There is a functional camera on that screen, Defy 2526. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm excited now. Thank you, guys. Hype train was just started, by the way, 4 minutes ago. I do hope the lighting is bugged. I couldn't switch the lighting, and it really sincerely does look like it's stuck in an emergency state. I will say, though, that the lighting was the same for the command module during the PTU. So there's some lighting issues going on. I really do hope that CIG can address that sooner rather than later. Again, it's just one of those things where it's like it sort of prevents the ship from being seen in the best light, right? So I'm hoping by Drake Day, by the 14th, which is just day after tomorrow, I'm hoping the lights are fixed, okay? And the command module works. What else with the Ironclad? Chat, remind me, what is the war bond of the Ironclads, both Ironclads right now? Let me know in chat. I can always rely on chat. I used to look this stuff up and be more prepared, but now my chat is so on the ball that
I don't prep as much.
You don't have to prep as much because the chat is just crazy amazing. Danger Hobo says 450. So which one is that for? It's 410 and 465. Okay, so 410 for the Ironclad, 465 for the Ironclad assault. I mean, compared to other ships of various sizes and stuff, I really do think they're priced. And for those of you price sensitive, don't take this the wrong way, but I do think it's priced appropriately for what you're getting, the flexibility you're getting, provided they get all the bugs worked out and it's functionally what it's supposed to be. I really do think it's pretty good. Now, what can we surmise about that in terms of price going up? Well, the big thing for me is the Ironclad. Let's talk about the Ironclad base for a minute. It carries 2,200 SCU of cargo. I mean, I really think the price of the base Ironclad is going to $500 based off the amount of cargo it carries, because it's got to go up close. Internal cargo, by the way, go up close to the hull C. And what's the hull C now at Warbond? I should have, I guess, looked this up here. Let's look at the hull C Warbond here. Oh, it can't be it's more than 400, isn't it? It's got to be more than 400. I'm pretty sure it is, unless I'm just completely wrong. I'm looking it up, everybody. I'm looking it up. All right, here we go. Hull C. What is the war bond? Let's see. Okay, it's 500 or 450 war bond and 500 standalone. Okay, I thought it was 500 war bond. Okay. Well, the Ironclad base is definitely going to 450 war bond then, minimum. I think it's going to 450 because yes, it's less cargo than the hull C, but it's internal cargo, and you kind of get some extra shit in there with the secured cargo, which I think CIG nailed that room. By the way, I don't know if you checked that out, but I love the secured cargo area. I didn't think I would like that at all. And with the Ironclad assault, I don't know. I want to say 550. Yeah, socially confused, the prison. That's exactly what I mean. It's a makeshift brig. Yes. I'm thinking 550 for the Ironclad assault. So 500, 550 for Ironclad and assault. I think that's the bare minimum. And that would be about a $50 increase, give or take. Some people are saying there, Bald Eagle says, I bet the assault goes to $735. I don't think I have to go that much. But I do think, again, remember, this is Drake too. There's some reasonings there that Drake is cheaper, a little bit more accessible. But I do see this going bare minimum up to that 500, 550 mark, without a doubt. So yeah, if it goes higher than that, I think that will be based purely off CIG doing some sort of back end math that have shown that the excitement is there to qualify that. Good night, honey. Now my daughter went to bed. To qualify that, right? And
I thought you were talking to me.
a little bit talking to me. A little bit talking to me. Gearcon says, I bet the Ironclad will go up to 650 to prevent it being a CCU to the Merchantman. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think the Merchantman is so much of an unknown thing right now. I don't know if they'll go that high to prevent that, because that would be substantially higher than the Hull C, and the Hull C can carry double the cargo of this thing. Remember, the Hull C can carry 4,608. I'll say this, Gear, if it goes up that high, I'll be the one to call out CIG and go, you're crazy. Don't worry, I'll call it out. And Citizen Ninja, you're right. The Hull C's cargo is exposed for sure. But I'm thinking about in terms of just pure money making, right? It's just something to consider. All right. So yeah, Ironclad Assault, Ironclad. I think we're both feeling really good about these ships. I think people are really excited for them. All throughout the interior of the ship, engineering's cool. The owner's quarters cool. The operator's room, as they call it, is super cool. You can see that here. Where is it? Right here. It's such a vibe. Again, I hope this comes over to the Kraken. The habitation area, super cool. Again, I love that Drake's got the individual rooms. I love that. Again, I just think they nailed so much about this ship. It is exactly what we were all hoping. Oh, one thing I can confirm is this big tractor beam arm here. When you do extend that, it really puts it in the perfect location to load cargo into this ship. So well done on CIG for perfect tractor beam placement. I did try it out, and it's really quick to throw boxes in this thing. So again, a lot there to love. My initial impression is yes. Very, very excited. Man, those Drake engines look badass. The only thing one other thing that's not so much Ironclad related, but just related to, the general, seeing this ship in the game finally, was obviously the connections to the Kraken. And because CIG has been pushing so hard that this ship is going to inform the Kraken, because they're going to be using a lot of the kit and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of goes back to these images here. I'll bring them up. We've sort of got two rendered, non-white box, but rendered images of the Kraken. And again, if the Ironclad is any indication, then I think we're in for a real treat on the Kraken. Okay. Now, two different ships at two massively different scales. Okay. You can fit two, the Kraken is more than two Ironclads long. But again, if the same sensibilities of the Ironclad get transferred over into the Kraken, which is what we know is going to happen here, then I think we're in for a real treat come next year, next Defense Con. There's a lot of little aspects to the Ironclad that I think are a great little signature of Drake stuff moving forward too, that CIG didn't really do before, but that I'm really excited. I'll zoom in this image really quick here. I don't know if anyone noticed this, but I love now how they've made it to where the welding beads are all over the Drake ship, where you can see how it was welded together. I love that. And it's everywhere. Even inside the ship where the big hangar doors retract on the roof, they got the cabling in there. And when the roof is retracting back, the cables actually pull and turn. Really, really awesome details. And I love that. I think they're trying to make Drake ships very tactile. very real, very grounded. And again, very excited to see that transfer over into the Kraken, you know. And again, the Heretical Jester. Jester, are you a welder? I'd love that if you are. Sorry, I can't say it. Heretical Jester. Hopefully I said that right.
It's heretical.
Heretical. I can't talk tonight. Heretical Jester. Thank you. Says, I love that the welds are terrible for welds. I hope so. I hope they're kind of a little bit like terrible welds, because I think that I think that would be great for Drake as well. So yeah. But yeah, very excited. Art, do you have an Ironclad? I forgot to ask you. Is this part of your fleet?
No, I was eyeing it, but with the org, we have so many people that are kind of looking at that, and that have it. I'm just like,
you can borrow my Ironclads anytime.
Really?
Yeah,
you're the best.
Anytime. No, yeah, I'm very excited for it, everyone. I hope you are too. Again, this should fall in our PTU hangers very, very soon. Okay, let's talk about some other.
It should fall on our PU hangers.
That's true. Yeah. Yes. What did I say? PTU? I meant PU.
You said PTU.
Sorry. I want to talk about this next thing a quick here. Art, be curious about your thoughts on this. And again, everyone, I talked a little bit about this in the stream earlier, but I kind of rushed through some of this stuff, and I wanted to kind of go through it a little bit more carefully. And the first one is regarding this Tiburon main weapon. Art, and I really wanted to get your opinion on this. This is you see the new ship weapons here listed. There's the Supremacy 10T laser beam weapon, size 10. Description as follows: developed in concert with the weapons specialist of Aegis to form part of the dedicated anti-capital ship loadout of the Tiburon, the Supremacy 10T combines surgical precision with devastating destructive power. And there's two big things there in that little descriptor that are really important that we didn't have before. One is that it's a size 10 laser. Came as a shock to me, to be quite honest with you. And the other one is the role of the Tiburon as an anti-capital ship. Okay. Art, I know you do a lot of large-scale combat with the amazing folks over at, well, why don't you pimp the org for a minute?
Oh, Horizon Interstellar. The ones that we were lucky enough that CIG put us on the PvE.
Right. That's right.
Org page. So, it's.
What's your thoughts on this?
I like it, and I like it for a couple reasons. One, it gives me variety.
Shout out to Farad. Shout out to Farad over at Horizon.
He's sleeping.
He's sleeping right now. He'll hear this one.
He will. He may watch the stream later. I mean, we've got several guys from Horizon actually in the chat.
Awesome.
So I always appreciate seeing them in here.
Yes.
They're mad because I didn't ping in the channel to let them know we were doing this. But
this was by the way, this is the last minute stream, just so everyone knows. Yeah. I'm testing some back end with Restream, and I thought, what better time to test it than tonight before we get to DefenseCon Day, because I'm doing some bitrate testing with Restream. But sorry, go ahead, Art. I won't interrupt now.
I mean, are you sure?
I'm sure. I'm done.
Okay, just checking. Here's the big thing is that. I like the fact that they're giving us additional options for anti-capital ship warfare. Mm-hmm. Up until then, we've just kind of had like the Polaris, if you can hit it with torpedoes, or another Idris, so another capital ship, and then lastly the Perseus with those size 8 guns. And to give us an additional option of variety, what it's going to do is, I think it's going to start expanding that whole fleet design. You're not just going to see Perseus everywhere.
Yeah,
you're not going to just see, Polaris everywhere or groups of those ships kind of there. And it gives us additional options with that laser. I can take down shields, which then opens options for distortions, or opens options for the ballistics for a Perseus to actually do more damage.
Yeah.
So it's a good pairing, and something we're definitely going to implement into the Navy side.
Is size 10 too high though?
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think like in some ways and again, I don't totally know what CIG's sort of like, what their idea behind the size 10 railgun, the size 10 Exodus laser beam on the Idris. I don't really know how CIG figures that balance across the multitude of ships, because it always felt like, hey, this is something special relegated to capital ships.
Yeah.
The Tiburon is not a capital ship. It's a large ship. It's 100 and
Subcap.
yeah, I think it's 111 meters long. And I could be wrong about that. It could be a little bit longer based off some of the exterior changes. Oh, Calptra with $195 donation. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Great generosity. Thank you. But now we're putting it's almost. This is the way I look at it. I know it's an anti-capital ship, but what it's sort of doing is like, and what I don't know if CIG factors in is they're now putting capital weaponry on non-capital ships.
Yeah.
The Idris laser beam was already problematic, and the railgun was already problematic for me in general because they were pilot controlled. I think that does upset capital ship balance. I think there's ways to solve that. If you do want to keep the laser beam and railgun in pilot control, there's ways to balance that with the other capital ships. However, that being said, do you think the size 10 weapon on this is a problem?
It unfortunately, it's classic CIG power creep.
Yeah.
I mean, look at everything else that we've recently had come out. Even with the Perseus last year, it was originally a size 7 gun, and then they upped it to a size 8 gun. And they said, well, it's for anti-capital ship. Okay, makes sense. Bigger gun to do more damage to armor. Got it. Makes sense. So to give a ship of similar size a gun that outclasses it by 2 sizes, that's more than likely going to be pilot controlled, because I can't see how it can't be.
Yep.
So we have another ship now that's pilot controlled. In addition to it, you're also giving it a ballistic size 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's at that point, it's like, is the Perseus even worth, are we, we're taking this ship that's been great this last year. It's been very popular, see it a lot out. And then all of a sudden now we're swapping it out for this. And it just seems like, unfortunately, another power creep that's going to get nerfed next patch.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Gin and Tonic's mentioned it's a bespoke weapon, which is true. And I think that's good to point out. The one thing I'll say about bespoke weaponry, though, is I know Execute, and there's a lot of other people that tell me this. They look at the bespoke weaponry as kind of a downgrade on the weapon sizes. I don't look at it that way myself. All that means to me is it can be tuned individually. And I do think there will be times in the future, because the tuning is going to always shift from patch to patch to patch to patch. I think there's going to be plenty of times in the future where that bespoke weaponry is actually better than it should be, just depending on how the tuning is at that period of time and where that ship is currently sitting in whatever metric CIG follows. And from that perspective, the bespoke side of it I don't look at that as like, oh, well, it's not quite 10, it's 9. You know what I mean? I don't look at it that way. I just look at it, oh, it's a size 10 that can be individually, tuned. And what that may mean is there may be that initial bit of over tuning for the sale. You know what I mean? Which I get. Not saying it's right, but I get why that's done. And then a little bit brought down to reality a patch later. Again, I don't think that's right. But what I'm hoping is more things like tactical strike groups and further content like that will give CIG proper metrics for judging where these ships are falling and where they need to tune these bespoke weapons, right? And here's something else I'll say about the bespoke weaponry on some of those ships. I think in some ways they do have to, and I was just looking if I had my Tiburon image up. I do. In some ways, I do think that having the ability to tune these weapons for these capital ships is going to end up paying dividends later on in a 1.0 environment, where they can individually boost or nerf capital ships to make them appropriate for their role and size without upsetting the rest of the balance of the game, because I do think those capital ships are going to play on a slightly different playground than the rest of the ships, right? So ultimately, I think it's going to be a good thing down the road. I think right now everyone just looks at it as a negative thing. You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Well, again, it goes just back to, even bespoke or not, it just goes back to it's a power creep, and you know, and I have issues with it being that way. I mean, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna play with it. I'm gonna have a good time with it. But you know, a lot of people were saying, you know, well, the laser can be adjusted. You know, it may have to recharge up and stuff like that. Well, they're basing it off of the Idris laser, and that one does not recharge. You
Yeah.
just fire it.
Yeah.
And you can hold it for as long as you need to. And you know, it's just, I go back to what you said, putting a capital ship weapon on a non-capital ship.
Yeah, in the argument being, well, it's an anti-capital ship. Well, okay, we get that, but what I would hope is that the way it's an anti-capital ship is it attacks capital ships from multiple angles. It's not that it's carrying size 10 weaponry. Maybe it's carrying slightly under than that, but it can attack in multiple ways or expose the weaknesses of certain capital ships. I mean, again, I do get a little concerned when they tag some of these ships as anti-capital ships. I mean, I know what that means here, but I think a lot of people buy those and that they think, oh, this is the way I'll destroy the Idris. And to me, I don't think there should technically be any non-capital anti-capital ships. There should just be like large ships like the Perseus and Tiburon and stuff like that that can work in concert with other ships to bring down a capital. Now, if you have 3 Tiburons, or 2 Tiburons, you might could take down an Idris. If you have a much smaller ship like a Paladin, well, you might need 7 Paladins then to take down the to take down the Idris or whatever. But I don't think like one large ship. I don't think that should. I think they should technically be able to take down a capital, but I think it should literally be an endurance test for a ship of that scale. Primarily because I think the armor and capital shields should make capital ships nigh unkillable, unless they're being attacked by multiple anti-capital ships or another capital ship. For me, put aside all the systemic systems CIG has planned and how the ships work and stuff. To me, it comes down to good old-fashioned MMO stuff, okay? Characters at certain levels can only be beaten by other characters at the same or close to levels, or maybe by a bunch of lower level characters, but just a lot of them. You know what I mean? It's just that old balancing act. It's as simple as that, to be totally honest with you. But anyway, Tiburon, yeah. So that's that. Next one is the C. So this is that other cannon you were talking about, right? I'm assuming this is the CO7T ballistic cannon. It says here, a dedicated anti-capital ship weapon adjusted to meet the combat demands of the Tiburon. It says the ballistic cannon delivers overwhelming offensive power, proving Bearing continues to innovate in all areas of battlefield technology. So these are bespoke as well. Am I getting that right? Can these be switched? Not sure. Because the only size 7 weapons we have right now are bespoke, right? We the Inferno weapons, the Ion weapons, and then this.
Well, right. And the turret for the Idris.
Oh, right. The nose turret. Yeah.
I think that's a size 7 laser.
Yeah,
that's an actual full turret.
Yeah, so. And the Polaris's chin turret's a size 6 bespoke, I believe.
It's a 6
okay.
bespoke. Yep.
Okay. Next one here, the Echelon repeater. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's a laser repeater size 5, designed to overwhelm the shields with a barrage of laser fire. This custom-made RSI Echelon laser repeater will strip enemies of their defenses, leaving them vulnerable to more devastating attacks. Where the hell does this weapon go? Oh, this has got to be the Meteor, right? This is that new triple barrel laser weapon for the Meteor. I'm pretty sure.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
Which is cool. I do like that some of these ships with bespoke weapons are getting alternate bespoke weapons to put on them. I do hope that sort of becomes a thing. I do want CIG to lean into that. Anvil Gladiator quad size 5 missile rack. Real fancy naming on that one. That is a size 5 missile rack. It's a quad missile rack bespoke to the Gladiator and holds 4 size 5 missiles. I love how there was so much descriptive language in the others, and this one is just Gladiator quad size 5.
I mean, the Gladiator is it's a very unique ship. I mean, it could already hold 2 torpedoes underneath.
Yeah.
You can put bombs on it, you can put missiles on it, and it had those 2, I believe they're size 4s on the wings, and I think 2 size 3s on the turret. So to be able to give this, what they've done is they've essentially turned it into a Scorpius with a weapons or with a missile kit on it without the additional weapons that the Scorpius has. Just making another missile fighter that missiles don't really matter as much right now. So
yeah. Next topic I wanted to talk a little bit about here with these Shiv modules. And I do I have an image of that? I thought I did. I know I do. Where is it? I don't have it, I guess. I thought I was prepared.
It's right over there. Click that one.
Over
there.
Yeah, it's right there, but I can't see it.
Right.
It's gone, and I've lost it. And I've lost it. No, where was it? I just had it. Where was it? All right,
It's on your other monitor. I can't see.
Who moved my images? That's my question. Who moved my
Blame
images?
GearCon.
I'll blame Gear. I'll blame Gear right now. No, I had these. Where did I put it? I wanted to bring it up because it showed it. Damn it. And now, oh, wait a minute. Here it is, I think. Maybe not.
Your Honor, let the record show that GearCon has admitted that it was him.
Oh.
Guilty as charged.
Okay. Okay, I guess I don't have it. I thought I had it. That's so weird. Either way, the Shiv is receiving some, oh, wait a minute. It's probably in this one. I do want to pull it up. Damn it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I found it, everybody. Right here, the Shiv is coming with customizable pieces. You can see some of that here. We've got like a little spoiler section here in the rear. We got these sort of pieces that jut out here in the front. These sort of aggressive looking nacelle pieces here. I'm not sure what this is. Could be another piece, but again, there's something on here on the back that's changed things a little bit.
I think it's the other back side of the engine nacelle.
Okay.
On the other end.
Drake Day is also Gray's Market Day, which is kind of cool. So May 14th will also be all about the Shiv, which I'm really excited for. I do love the Shiv. And inside the vehicle loadout manager now, there's now a module that's literally called Cosmetic, and it's got different pieces here. Really excited about this. Kind of the first we've ever seen of this. There's 3 module set stylings, right? Lunatic, Barebone, Slasher. I'm not sure what the hell that means. I'm sure they have different sort of aesthetics. What I do like is you can sort of mix and match them, because within all 3 module themes, there's 4 different locations you can fix. Front, and then rear left, rear right, and then rear center. One cool thing about that is it makes me wonder if you can sort of mix and match some of that stuff to sort of make the ship slightly asymmetric in its exterior design. So for example, you put one thing on the rear left and one thing on the rear right from 2 different themes, you know what I mean? And then what will that look like? I think it kind of leans into what Gray's Market should be. So I'm pretty excited about that. We do know that there is a new Gray's Market ship coming. It was sort of come out in that it's the Basher. Says here, ready or not, here it comes. Risk takers wanted this July. So pretty excited about that. I would think that the Basher is really built around this cosmetic Lego set here. Pretty excited about that. I know Gray's Market doesn't apply to everyone, may not apply to you, Art, but how do you feel about this as a system for other manufacturers in the future? Like if, for example, if you could buy, let's just backtrack and let's say it was the Polaris, right? Or the Perseus or something. What if there were cosmetic hard points on the ships that you could switch out, through crafting, through, purchasing it, whatever. Is that something that would interest you? I mean, obviously that's got to be under some sort of control, because it could get out of hand really quickly. Right. But thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be something that I would like to see it come to other ships as well. I think it gives us more personality in our ships, just besides, sticking on the color skin that you bought last year that you're hoping nobody has, and then you see like 6 people go by with the same skin, and you're like, this is stupid. Put another skin on it, trying to be unique. So it gives us a little bit more uniqueness to our ships, give them a little bit more personality. I would like to see some variations, to those ships. Maybe a a Perseus, that they have one that's old school from when it first came out, so it's a little bit more rugged, or maybe it's more sleek. The design on it's just a little different. Not
Yeah.
enough that would change the whole aspect of it per se, but enough that it would be like, it would make you stop and go, whoa, why is that different? Why
Yeah.
does that look cooler? Why does that? And it gives you a little bit more personality when you show off your ships.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. So again, excited to see that. And that's on day one. So actually, I'm equally excited for that as I am the Drake stuff, just to see not only for Grace Market, but just future Star Citizen. Another thing, new flight blades. Again, these are handling and speed blades, much like we had last year, but coming to more ships. And I forget what they were for last year. I just remember there was some for the Scorpius. I remember that clearly. But the ones coming out this year apply to a lot more ships that I own, that I would be interested in possibly having blades for. I don't think the CIG will make the same mistake this time. I think these will be on the on the in-game store as well pretty quickly. They got some bad press for that last time. But Anvil Carrick, Anvil Asgard, Buccaneer, Clipper, Corsair, Shiv, and then the Wolves. Any thoughts on the blades? Any opinion on that?
I do like that they give you some benefits, but also take stuff away. It's not just a complete game changer. But if you have a skilled pilot and you put the right blade in the right ship, they become quite the menace.
Yeah.
Without making it just completely unbearable.
Well, I was hoping, I was pretty open about this. I was hoping that we were getting AI turret blades for this Invictus. They obviously didn't do that. We're getting new blades, but not any new blades. And little disappointed in that. I thought that was going to be a big reason for the Hammerhead Gold Standard. What I didn't anticipate, though, and what later turned out to be the case, is that CIG wasn't really too concerned with the Hammerhead Gold Standard being sort of the new hotness for Aegis Day. It was the Tiburon. Again, when CIG first mentioned a Hammerhead related ship, they said it was in white box at that time, the first mention of it, and that wasn't that long ago. So for me, I thought that it was much farther along. What I think actually was the case, that it was in white box, but it was also because it was essentially a Hammerhead variant, that production pipeline accelerated really quickly. And so I wasn't anticipating the Tiburon. And someone in chat said I was saying it with the wrong sort of accent. I do apologize, but yeah, go ahead.
We're countrified here.
We're countrified here, yeah.
With that being said, do you think that the lack of real uniqueness with the Hammerhead is due to the Tiburon? That they just were like, well, since we're already doing this, and we've updated the Tiburon obviously with its design, we're going to make it the best thing out there right now. So they're like, well, since we're doing this, we'll go ahead and do the gold standard for the Hammerhead, and then that was really lackluster. And it almost to me felt like they just really don't care about the Hammerhead in particular, aside from just marking it off their list.
Well, yeah, and the more I thought about it too, I think it was a ship that was never. I forgot one sort of golden rule about the Hammerhead, in that it's an important Squadron 42 ship. So in some respects, the Hammerhead's sort of locked and done. You know what I mean? Sure, it can be brought up to gold standard, but I think CIG was sort of they didn't want to open that Pandora's box with that ship being a hero squadron ship at this time. It probably was made more sense to come out with a new ship. Again, the interesting thing with the Tiburon being this anti-capital ship, I think is the weird part of that role. But yeah, I'm a little confused with the Hammerhead. I still think when we get those AI blades, the Hammerhead equation changes. And I know there's a lot of people out there that point out to me that no, Grim, the AI turret blades will not work on man turrets. I've heard that before, but my answer to that is I always go back to this article from CIG. It was pointed out to me by chat one time, and it is specifically the Q&A on the Perseus, which is not that long ago. And they specifically ask for exactly where it is here. It says, okay, it says here, will it have pilot-controlled weapons? Will both big manned turrets be able to link to the pilot via computer blades if the crew gets sick? And they say here the pilot will have access to torpedoes, but then they go on to say, however, as a fallback, they will be able to be NPC crewed or equipped with a computer blade. So I always go back to that thinking that manned turrets can be slave to a computer blade if you have the blades for it. Now, CIG may change that. Could be wrong here. But again, I always sort of go back to that. And if that future holds true, then the equation behind the Hammerhead changes completely in my book. It really is going to switch things up.
Everything we've seen so far, the Tiburon, I haven't seen anybody mention any PDCs. Do you think it's going to get a PDC or two?
I haven't seen any PDCs on it. No mention of them. I had some people say, oh, well, maybe they pop out of a cabinet and reveal. I think that would be pretty silly for a PDC. The whole idea is that they're at the ready in a moment's notice to activate. Yeah. So I think having PDCs that are hidden away would actually be kind of a stupid thing. Right. So no, I haven't seen any. And based off the size of the Tiburon, they would be pretty noticeable if it had PDCs. It'd be pretty big things. I think the Hammerhead and the Tiburon should at least got 2 PDCs. At least 2. But hey,
well, it makes them susceptible to missiles, so I'm all for it.
Sure, absolutely. I will say John Crew originally said, and here's the thing, we should really give John Crew a little bit of slack here. Just because I think sometimes people hear him say stuff in a show, and they literally take it as gospel, like etched in stone, shall never change. And that's ridiculous. It's game design. Shit changes all the time. John Crew did say at one point that no non-military ships will get them that weren't already sold as part of the pledge. Okay, I know that's the case with the 890 Jump and Phoenix and all that. But no new ships that are not military ships would get them. But the Kraken's getting one. It's not a military ship from all we know, unless CIG's changing the lore where the UE is going to adopt them. For all we know, the Kraken is a militia ship, for the people's ship, and it's got PDCs. And ships like the Hammerhead, which are a UE Navy ship, does not have them. So, we just can't read into that too much. And I don't think we should hold John Crew to that. I mean, he's dealing with hundreds of ships on a daily basis. He cannot remember every little tiny stupid little thing. I mean, he's
I think we should call him.
We should call him. John. Yeah, I know you don't watch the show, but if you're watching,
he might be sleeping. That's okay. Sleeping. I think he'll answer for you.
Yeah, you got to remember.
Call John.
As vehicle director, John is probably overseeing so much more than we could ever fully encompass. Not only is he has to keep the entire ship catalog under his thumb, but it's also upcoming ships, the squadron ships, the Vandal ships, all that stuff. It adds up over time. So, is it bean time?
The people have spoken.
People have spoken. All right, let me switch over to my big list.
They said, hey, stop talking about ships. Okay. We want to see you.
Yeah, why would we keep talking about ships on Shipyard? But here we go.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I'm just messing with you. Okay, get John on the show. I'd love for John to be on the show. We did have Paul Jones on the show, which was awesome. Former art director, ship art director. All right, Bean Boozle, everybody. Grabbing my bean. Oh, here it is. Ooh. Das Killer says it'll help my voice. There we go.
So I've got 2 options here.
Okay.
I could take the easy way out and take the blue one, which is not bad.
Son of a bee.
Or I could take the not easy way out and have dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie.
Oof. I got either booger or juicy pear. No, it's booger or juicy pear, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it. By the way, thank you for all the follows. I don't have a ton of follows tonight. I do appreciate it. Matt Sparrow, Johnny, Deep Diver, Captain Dart, Cody Killa, Trev. Appreciate that. All right, Art.
You know what? I'll let you pick.
You know what? Go with the non-blue one. Go with the non-blue one. You're not getting you held it up. You're not getting out of it the easy way. Go with the non-blue. Trying to get out on a blue one. He knows those are delicious. He knows it. He knows it.
Listen, Mister. I pulled a double and pulled double blue and was like, "Oh, it's okay. Like I'm not worried at all."
Yeah, here we go. Bottoms up. Thank you, everybody, for your donations. Look, nope. That's not the Booker one.
Joke's on you. Still got strawberry banana.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good. Ooh, God. And when the throat medicine I'm on, no, it's not a good mix. Oh, man. Demon Eyes, my favorite person at this exact moment, just said hydrate. I can hydrate. Thank you, Demon. Ooh, God. Ooh. I'm on some cough medicine for my throat that it does not mix well with that. Locopus with a $125 donation, pushing us to $44,992. Everyone, we are freaking $8 from 45,000 raised so far this year. Oh my God, this is terrible.
These guys, I mean, let's just talk about this for a minute. These guys,
you talk. I'm gonna try to get this down.
Okay, these guys have raised more money this year than you guys did last year in 2 months. We did more than that in a month. And instead of slowing down and being like, hey, we gave what we can, but also, Defense Con's coming up, I'm going to save some money. These guys are like, hey, we care about kids so much.
Yeah.
That we're going to keep throwing money.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And they're legends.
Absolutely
they're legendary.
amazing.
Hey, each and every one of them's legendary. You'll never convince me otherwise.
It's unbelievable. It really is. It's I've talked to my wife about it multiple times. It's killer. And she's blown away by this community as well. Jen Tonic says Drake tattoo at 50,000 StarJumpGram. You know what? I wouldn't do a Drake tattoo, but I would maybe do like a abstract Kraken tattoo that I could pass it off if this game fails. That's something else.
What's that carrier looking ship you got on here?
Oh no. I would just do the Kraken logo. Just the
okay.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're gonna do it, get like the whole ship thing on there, and then when somebody asks
Here's
you about
the
it, you'd be like, well, my cousin twice removed on my mother's side served on the Lincoln, so I got it to support them.
Here's the thing. My wife would never allow me to like shave my beard for the it's just not gonna happen. My wife would just soon as donate money to the charity and save the beard. So,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, she's a nice lady. Also, when is she coming back to do another rating of ships?
Very soon.
We never did get a part 2.
Yeah. It's going to happen very, very soon. Very, very soon. Let's get to a few questions. Got the Pitbull up here, by the way, everyone. Don't forget the new ships coming this year. Pitbull, Shiv customizations. Very excited for the Pitbull, only because I think this is going to be a great ship to just go have fun in, just have a fun night in. So yeah, I'm excited for it. M80, I know a lot of people are excited for this one. Shout out to Piggles. He's especially excited for this ship, which is awesome. M80. Next, Misk Starlight refueler ship. I think for any of you industrial minded folks or future fuel rats, this is a ship you're going to want in your fleet. I don't like the look of it, but that's okay. You don't have to like the look of every ship.
You grabbed the wrong image. This should have been the one.
Oh yeah, it's true. It's true. And then the Aegis Tiburon, again, we've talked about. So some really great, cool, interesting ships coming. Well, by the way, if anyone was wondering what this is for Bar Citizen. If you go to a Bar Citizen with CIG in attendance, make sure you seek out the CIG people. They'll have codes for the Vandal Lancer spear thing as a display piece for your hangar. Pretty sweet. I'll need to see if I can get my hands on one of those. It'd be really cool. I need to ping.
So you know people.
I need to ping some people. I don't get any special treatment though, which I wouldn't want any. But maybe I can find someone going to an event. That'd be cool. Yeah. Anyway, very cool. And I really don't ask for CIG for anything. They hand out ships for giveaways, which is great, and it's extremely appreciated. But I really don't bother them with requests. They are making the game of my dreams, so that is enough. Let's get to some questions. Aldzilla SC says, question about the Odin. Could that bottom section possibly detach? Well, you know what? Damn it. Let's bring up the Odin, shall we?
You like maximized your screen or something. That was weird.
Oh yeah, did it go crazy? Is it back to normal,
Yeah.
everybody? Okay. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me, everybody. Let me pull up the Odin and I'll share my screen. How do I share my screen? That's a good question. Oh, here we go.
You click that one.
Nope,
Yep.
that didn't work. We're gonna pull up
Main screen.
this one here. Yep, there we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Here for you, man.
Yeah, you're
Pretty
looking out.
soon.
Looking out. Didn't dox myself, so that's good. All right, everybody. Here's the Anvil Odin. This is the hollow model, the one also working on for Fleet Viewer. This is the one with the turrets all exposed. I also have the man. I don't know why it's doing that. It's so weird. I also have the one where the weapon systems are closed. I'll bring that one up as well. Bear with me. Does my computer just not like this shit tonight? Sometimes the computer does not like bringing up Cinema 4D. This is the one with the turrets all enclosed. Pretty cool. I know a lot of people really like that look instead. But the question being, does this bottom part down here detach? And here's what I would say about that. I don't know, but from a structural standpoint, just looking at the hollow model, okay, there's no reason why it couldn't. Like maybe it's awkwardly down there. It does have its own engines back here on the rear. You can see those engines there. It's got 2 turrets on it. Those turrets are completely on this part and piece. It is pretty set up into the hull here. There is a little hole here. Again, nothing to like read into from that. The question being though, could it detach? It could. It could detach, and maybe up here there is a cockpit and this thing has a whole other ship that detaches from it. If that is the case, oh my God, people are going to be excited. Yeah, they're going to be really excited. It's just not enough detail in the hollow model to tell that offhand, I hate to say. But when I first looked at this model, and sometimes I do go off those first initial impressions. When I first looked at this model, I did go, oh, wow, does that detach? That was literally like my first thought. So, yeah, that was my first thought.
Would you like to see, more Anvil capital ships come out that are of that style, that actual naval kind of ship silhouette style?
Yes, I would. Anvil is sorry everyone, I have a little bit of an itchy nose tonight. I think I have a nose hair that's just tickling there. But I think Anvil's one of those manufacturers where their larger ships are kind of all over the place. We got the Liberator with one look, the Carrack with a whole other look, the Crucible with a completely different look that will get reconcepted. And then that's sort of it for large ships. So we don't really have a lot to go off. And then we have, boom, this with a whole other category of ship, that 750 meter range sort of size. And it's suddenly like, okay, is this what the large capital Anvil stuff is going to look like? Maybe it's going to have more of that, that naval kind of look for it. I'm all for that. I've been pretty vocal in saying that the ships that look more like ocean going ships are some of my favorite, honestly. So I would love to see that. There are some aspects of this design I don't love, but there's some aspects I do love. You know what I mean? Was it Art? Maybe it was you, or maybe it was VMXU. I can't remember, but I think it was you, about these fixed guns here that seem like they're really awkwardly placed, where the barrels come out, but like, where are they aiming? And was it you that mentioned maybe they're flat cannons?
They could be like a flak aerial denial kind of thing, or
that makes total sense to me. If that's what this is, like if it can just send out flat clouds everywhere, that takes us in a whole other place. And we do know it does something special. CIG has said that it does something special. And I can tell you right now that just having big guns is not special. It's going to have some special functionality. And I could see that being some sort of like flat cloud, dispersal ship. Just right.
And the only reason why I say that is just because, even if you look at, old World War II battleships, battle cruisers, all that kind of stuff is, their main guns, were able to rotate on axes, but they were mainly about doing broadsides. And it's if more of these guns were broadside oriented, I'd be like, okay, they're all guns, cool, but it's the angles that's kind of like, this seems like this is more of a just trying to hold down a certain lane, and I can't see putting somebody on a turret to maintain, a 20-degree, 30-degree, maybe a maximum of like 50-degree area.
Yeah.
That they could just move a little bit left, a little bit right, and fire. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that it's something, So I think it would be more of an area of denial kind of system.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of questions too. What the hell is this ship for? What is this ship for? For me, that is actually the easy answer. And I put this ship, I put the future Bengals we can create. I put honestly, I put the Javelins, in this category too. These are, in my opinion, station warfare ships. What did CIG tell us in the Star Citizen 1.0 presentation, right? If you remember, what they said was that station warfare, right, is the end game, right? That is one of the end games. That is the future, okay? That's why they've got the little ready hangar down here. That's why this massive station can do all the hardpoint connections, which are right here. And you'll notice these hardpoint connections aren't, bread dispensers. They're massive turrets. They're radar systems. They're all kinds of stuff, right? So station warfare, I think, is going to be a big deal in the Star Citizen 1.0 ecosphere. And I think these are the ships that you will exact station warfare with. Because if you size up these turrets here, these big 3-barrel turrets right here, next to a person, and you can base it off some of the station imagery, right? Like some of this, taking the measurements of like these radar domes, measuring that against the size of these hangars, measuring that against the size of these here, again, doing a cross-reference. What it looks like is these stations are going to have massive shields to deal with, massive shield systems. They're going to be heavily, heavily armed. They're going to have their own fighter decks and entire orgs protecting them. But they're all stationed in a specific location, right? So the org with the station has everything they need there. All their resupply is there. Their ships know where to go. The attacking org has to bring everything with them. And what better way to arrive than one big ass ship that brings everything to bear? Okay? Because it's not like you can bring your station to the other station. And that's what I think these ships are for.
And I really think that, some of the stuff that we've got in TSG is a taste of what station warfare is going to be like. With the capital ship killing guns, with the fact that you have to hit certain heat vents.
Yeah.
And then going in and hitting power plants. I don't think we're going to be able to do trench runs. I don't think that's going to be a thing for the space stations themselves. But attacking hard points to lower things to then get access to other things to do that is where this is going to go.
Yeah. Ethos says in chat too is another good example. He says, I think another good PvE example for these would be massive Vandal incursions where we get things like kingships arriving into zones. Absolutely. I think that would be a good use case for these as well. But just in terms of what CIG has announced, I would say it's all about station warfare, because I do think CIG is that's sort of what the end game plan is. Now, again, this extrapolates out into the PvP zones and Pyro and stuff like that as well. But again, you're going up a massive space station. Even bringing your Javelin, you're going to need to still bring a lot more to bear to deal with a space station. Okay, a space station is much bigger than a Javelin. Okay, and it can have Javelins of its own protecting it. So the opposing force coming to the station is going to have to bring a lot with them. You know what I mean? And what better to be the tip of the spear, the vanguard to your attacking fleet than something like this? Again, also acting as command and control, this, that, and the other. So I think that's the future of these. We went off on a tangent, but here we go. Let's see here. I50mm says, isn't Kruger unveiling a new ship, or is that for later? I think that's for later. It's the Stingray, the S65 Stingray did show up in the files, but just that happens all the time. People took that and ran with it and were like, oh, new ship coming at Invictus. And that was a logical conclusion, but that does happen a lot, where a ship name will come up in the files much earlier. That happened with the Hermes. The Hermes came in, name was in the game files like months ahead of its release. So it does happen from time to time. I'm honestly thinking the Stingray could come in July, along with whatever that Shiv ship is. Maybe those are kind of like this July ship.
It may be, and that may be like tied to, or it might even be tied to like 4.8.2, like Xenothreat even. You might get something then too.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick thing though, guys, with the questions, if you can put context in with your question, just in case.
If there's no context, I'll not answer it.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. MCD7618 says, question, might want to cover the latest news about the full wipe except blueprints and hangar. Might not. Yeah, I think it's pretty simple. I'm
here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are. Now, this is just in my opinion. If you all have a different opinion, that is okay. Oh, thank you for subscribing, Justin, on YouTube. Do appreciate that. I always love those YouTube subscribes. But I'm the weird one, I guess, where I really don't even. I don't even keep up with the wipes. I almost consider them wiping us every patch. I don't even pay attention anymore because. To be fair, I don't grind out any Wicklow ships. Maybe if I did, I would care more. But there's different types of players for this game. Okay, there's the players that play the game for now. There's the players that play the game for 1.0. There's the players that kind of play both of that. They play the game for now and are looking forward to 1.0. I'm squarely in the I play for 1.0 thing. And it's not just with Star Citizen. I do any early access game like that. I really don't look at them as a game yet, and I don't look at Star Citizen as a game yet. I look at it as a interesting test vehicle for a lot of really cool game ideas that I hope can be sewn together. So from that standpoint, to me, everything is sacrificial in the goal of hitting 1.0. Progress, all that kind of stuff is up to be, wiped at any time for the sake of getting to a balanced and good 1.0 experience. That's just me. Right. I'm not saying that's right. If someone in chat there, if you're like, no, this is too far of a wipe, I play the game for now. You are in the right. I'm in the right too. We can both of our opinions are right on this, and because people play for different reasons, and you wouldn't be at fault for that either, because CIG does go out of their way to advertise this almost as like a full-on game at this point. You know what I mean? But that being said, all I give a damn about is 1.0. That's all I really care about. It's another reason why I want Squadron out. But go ahead, Art.
So first of all, like the last wipe was 17 months ago.
Yeah.
Inflation is stupid high. People were selling stuff on the player market for billions for things.
Billions.
Yeah. There's a lot that they've changed. With these new systems that they're bringing on board, they're looking at, the fact that we're being able to attach things to our ships now with loadouts. All of that has a new system that they're working with. It's going to require new anecdotal attachment of numbers for their database. And with the rep, with the addition of blueprints and stuff into some of these rep grinds, they have to wipe the rep too for you to be able to get these blueprints.
Yeah.
Some of the mining stuff, are they just going to give it to people because you have the rep already? They need to test this for a new player experience, and I think that's the other reason why they're pushing it on 4.8 with the fact that it's a free fly. It's a very important free fly because this is when we get a lot of new players coming in, because they can also test a whole bunch of new ships, not just the same list of ships they get any other free fly. Being able to rent that stuff. So we got a lot of testing going on, stress testing servers, but how tolerable is that new player experience for the people coming in off this free fly? And I think that's part of the rep, seeing the rep grind. We got a reduction in missile prices, which was good, kind of balance out some of that pain of that money.
Yeah.
But my thing, I'm here for it. Let's wipe it all fresh. The duplicated Idris M railguns are gone. The people that duped stuff through Wicklow and got Wicklow Idrises are gone.
Yeah.
You know, all this Wicklow stuff is gone. And that was like the biggest recent thing, was that they were talking about Wicklow stuff getting nuked as well, because the community was throwing a fit. And you know, hey, I don't care. Let's grind it all out. It'll take as much time as it takes, and we'll get there. But it's been a while since we've had a wipe. So
yeah, and I've heard some people. I see a Milletzi in chat says, "I just noticed you had an Endeavor in your background." Yeah, keep watching behind me. You'll see some ships pop up. But I saw someone say, well, I wish CIG would give us like a Wicklow skin if we earn the ship, even though they're wiping stuff. Look, there's a lot of things CIG could do to sort of make the blow softer. You know what I mean? Or maybe you get a blueprint for that skin or something. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think it would be right for me to even come up with an answer, being that I don't grind that. So I'll be honest with you, I will grind the hell out of that stuff in the future. I have so much stuff going on in my real life right now that it's hard to parse the time for stuff that I know is not permanent. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just finding the time to do it, because obviously I'm managing a lot. Fleet Viewer, STARJUMP, there's content, playing the game in my own time, stuff like that. And it is tricky, but I think just remember where we're going to land in the future. And at some point, we won't have these wipes anymore in a 1.0 world. And that's why we need to get to 1.0 quicker, right? And hopefully Squadron getting out so that they can focus on the 1.0 roadmap will get us there quicker. So we don't have to have these conversations anymore about the wipes, and everyone can just know that everything they're doing is for something. You know what I mean? Real quick, everyone, just want to point out, we are only $8 away from $45,000 raised. Okay, get in on those St. Jude raffles. Okay, if you just joined the stream on May 14th for a $45 donation to the St. Jude STARJUMP Tiltify link, or scanning the QR code on your screen. Tiltify link's popping up down there in chat right now. We have three clippers we're going to do raffles for $25 donation. $40 donation will get you a ticket to our Tiburon raffle on the 20th. $35 donation will get you a ticket for our Ironclad Assault that we're giving away on May 27th. And on May 31st, we're doing a Polaris raffle, $60 donation for that one. And a $100 donation to St. Jude STARJUMP Tiltify link will get you a ticket for the Masters of Industry, which comes with a Pioneer, a Rastra, Holby, Golem, Vulture, Mole, Reclaimer, and Hercules. So get in on that while you can. Only $8 more, everybody, and we've raised $45,000. Remember, your money goes straight to St. Jude via Tiltify. It does not come to STARJUMP in any way. I can't access it. I can't touch it. Dabbar can't touch it. No one can touch it. It goes straight to them. Big shout out to GearCon for offering up all the ships for raffle. I believe he's in chat. Everyone, give him a 07. Okay, some more questions here. Killer Tank says, question, do you still think a Squadron 42 announcement is coming? I do. I think we're due for some sort of Squadron announcement very soon. I don't know when it's going to come. I am anticipating something. I don't know if it's a defense con. I do think it's soon. He thinks it's a defense con. I do think it's soon. I think CIG has been dropping a lot of hints around it. So again, the fleet having to go back to Seoul and all that. There's just a lot of,
If it wasn't relevant, they wouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've been very forceful on the whole, and they've hit on it several times in those interviews about, oh, well, the fleet's going back to Seoul.
Yeah.
That means an announcement's coming. I think it'll be at the end of Defense Con.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get I don't think we're going to get a day. I think we're going to get I think it's going to say fall.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. It'll kick off with marketing and it'll say
for
fall.
A month. It'll, just come in December or whatever. Yeah. Next, Defy 252 says, will there be other ships going on sale or to be sold during DrakeCon that aren't Drake ships? Yeah, lots of them. On Drake Day specifically, those Gray's Market will be on for sale, but then there's a calendar. Do I have that up? Where's my calendar? Let's pull it up here. Here's the Defense Con schedule. Do I have it? I guess not. I thought I did.
It's that other one.
Here we go.
It's that
Yes,
other
there we
one. There it is.
go. Here you go. See, all these manufacturers will be selling ships in some form or another on those days. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity there. Oh, $50 from. Oh, we got a few donations. Whoa, how did I miss this? $100 donation from Dark Knight 1972. Thank you very much, Dark Knight. Etho 5044 with a $50 donation, and Gin and Tonic with a $25 donation. I do appreciate y'all. That pushes us to $45,167. Salute to you. I appreciate you. That is very generous. Thank you all. Good fundraising night tonight. You all are incredible.
For an impromptu night. For literally like a, hey, we're doing it. I got a message from you. What was that? Like 2 hours ago?
Just a little bit ago. Said, hey, I'm going to do a stream. Doing some testing. Yeah.
Literally, well, at this point, it's now been 4 hours. But yeah, 2 hours before we started. Yeah. Hey, by the way.
Couple more questions here, everyone. Then we're going to do the giveaway. Jen Tonic says, perfect timing, isn't the ability to translate the original concept to the flight ready model tied largely to them now concepting in 3D, often starting with the interior? Yes, that's an accurate statement, Jen and Tonic. Only caveat being that that even going way far back to even some of the really old concepts, they still did do them in 3D. But the level of detail is miles apart, like miles apart. The concept meshes, hollow models for stuff like the Crucible, the Starliner stuff, they are woefully low in detail and like terrible meshes as compared to modern concept ships, like stuff like the Ironclad Galaxy and stuff like woefully separated by a huge margin, but they were still done in 3D technically. So it's a little bit of a fidelity thing. Anonymous with an $8 donation towards the Aurora Mark 1 series pack. Don't forget, everyone, you can get on that Aurora Mark 1 series pack, which has all the Auroras, for a $5 donation. Only $5. You can get in on that. And then we'll have 2 runners up in that raffle that will get an Aurora Mark 2 starter pack. How cool is that? Get in on it. Giving that away on the 14th as well. We're doing those raffles. Almost forgot. Get in on it. Another question from Gin and Tonic says, do you think pirates will just blow the command module off, leaving all the goodies just sitting there nicely packaged in a metal box? Ah, damn it. Yes, you're right. Oh, we got a raid. Sending the Kraken over. Kraken to the rescue. Thank you very much, TV Liquid. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate for that raid. Sending 58 viewers over here. Absolutely incredible. 58 viewers. That's amazing. TV Liquid, hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope, how was your stream good? We're doing some questions here. But since your viewers just come over, I am doing an Ironclad giveaway on Thursday, on the 14th. If you want to get in on that, very easy. You can scan the QR code, or if I can get the link quick enough, or you can go to this Gleam link that I just pasted in chat. It's free to enter. I'm going to give an Ironclad away. How cool is that? Get in on it. Yes. I think they will do that, Gin and Tonic. I think that's the big weakness. That's why I gave it a point down. I think it's the Achilles heel of the Ironclad. Doesn't make it any less cooler of a ship, but it is problematic. So TV Liquid, thanks again for that raid, buddy. I do appreciate it. Did we do a shout out?
We did.
We did. You're on topic. Why did I even ask?
I'm
just pointing out, we have 314 viewers on Twitch, which is amazing. Thank you very much, TV Liquid, pushing us over that 300 mark, and 276 on YouTube. The YouTube community is just kicking doors down right now. It's amazing. Couple more questions here, everyone. Then we're going to do the giveaway for tonight. If you want to get in on the giveaway and you're on Twitch, we're going to be giving away the Red Line patch bundle. Just do !ticket or !ticket space max to get your tickets for that. Okay. Follow the channel if you haven't followed it. I do appreciate it.
And on YouTube, they have to do what? On
YouTube, you have to go to the link pinned to chat and you leave a comment on that video. That's one of my new player guide videos. Leave a comment there. And while you're at it, send that to a friend. Tell them to use my referral code. We're up to 71 referrals now. I do appreciate you. Almost to that storm. Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, ring that bell. You know how this works. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Okay. Karsten says, question, how do you feel about fast travel? I say people can People can, ships can't. So talking about the whole teleport thing that popped up recently, my thoughts on that are, I don't know how you feel about this, but my thoughts on that are, I think if CIG is going to do something like that, I think they need to tie it into a couple things. One, I think they need to test it in a limited way first to see how disruptive it is. And I think the perfect place to test it is for instance content. Two, and to see if it's too disruptive. If it is, then they just don't bring it out any further than that and they retract. Two, I do think friction for setup needs to be reduced. Okay, so I'm not completely against it. If they do bring in teleportation like that, I do think it needs to be tied to a mission acceptance, not just emergent gameplay. It has to be tied to an actual mission or event, or like actual mission within your Moby Glass acceptance, not just for you all going out as a fleet to cause trouble, right? It needs to be tied to that. And two, I would like them to tie it to the bed logging system in big ships somehow, which I do think is probably what they're going to do. Right. Shadow Dragon, thank you for that subscription, buddy. Appreciate you.
I've got a couple of things on that. So right, one, those individuals who ever played a game where they've been zerged by people, Arc, Rust, anything like that, where you have an option where you have people just spawn in and can spawn in on a location and you're fighting a fight. If I'm fighting a fight against an enemy fleet and they have, I'm taking the advantage because their Polaris isn't manned, and all of a sudden they can send the thing out and now I'm fighting a fully manned Polaris. I have issues with that. I have absolute 100% issues with that.
Yeah.
That it takes away the prepared part of the fight.
Sure.
Yeah. Or at least the initial combat of it. If it is tied to the beds, it needs to be limited to the amount of beds on the ship, so you couldn't over spawn it.
Agreed.
So if it was a Polaris and it's got 16 beds, then only 16 people can spawn on that ship.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a reasonable. I think that's a reasonable system. I think too that there could be some limiting factors in it. Maybe it doesn't just work at any distance. Maybe you have to be, for example, within the microtech region, or maybe it's based off the shard you're on, or you know what I mean? There's a couple of like teleporting from Stanton to Pyro. I'm not totally for, but if you're down on Port Trustler and everyone's in orbit above microtech, or sorry, if you're down in New Babbage, but everyone's already in orbit up there Trustler, I'm okay with popping you up there.
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
Why don't they just then implement that into a transport system where you just get on, like what we do now, have it increase the speed, whatever, that it doesn't take 20 minutes to go across Stanton or 10 minutes to go across Stanton. It takes 5. Okay. But give me that as an option. I would be less upset with that, because you're just moving quicker to get to the place, but you still have to do all of the setup once you're there, versus just magic. I'm on your ship now and we can go screw around things, because, while the idea of this works in the positive for the players that are wanting to do fun things as a group of friends, remember, those individuals that grief people are going, and the ones that pirate are also going to be doing the exact same thing. And when it's done against you, I feel like a lot of people are going to feel differently about it.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of ways to game the system too. So for example, if it was tied to mission acceptance, like something from the actual mission, mission stuff you can accept, maybe people can teleport with that in limited distance just within the same planetary body. But if you don't, like, if that mission's abandoned or anything, then everyone teleports back where they were or whatever. You sort of lose that connection. There's a lot of ways it can be gamed. Ultimately, I do wonder. Oh, and thank you. Just had a subscription from someone. Criminal 1408 just subscribed. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate that. I do sometimes wonder I just say it like this. Let's say a less bug riddled game experience, or in the post 1.0 world where we hope that bugs are a lot more smoothed out by then. I would hope that the friction isn't as much of a problem anyway. You know what I mean? I think right now it is a major problem because we don't have org tools, we don't have all this other stuff. So you kind of are just like, just give me teleportation for God's sake. You know what I mean? But I do hope in that future world we go, oh, it's not a big deal because you can reliably get from here to there with no problem. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big part of it too.
How many times have you lined up for a jump system from jumping into Pyro into Nyx or Stanton, and you go through the wormhole and it kicks you back out in Pyro?
Right.
And now you're fighting that for the next 10 to 15 minutes, trying to get with everybody in Stanton.
Yeah.
When a lot of people set their home location to, Stanton, Pyro, whatever. And then the easiest way to get there is just reset your spawn point, backspace, and oh my God, you're there.
Yeah. Exactly. Space Tomato just DM'd me, said he loves the Odin render. Thank you, Space. I don't know if you're watching or if you just saw it on Twitter or something. Appreciate you, bud. Next question here. We got two more, and then we're going to do the giveaway for tonight. Ruger Blood Moon says, did they give the Ironclad any internal defense turrets? Yes, they gave the Ironclad one internal defense turret within its cargo bay, and it's just pretty cool. I will say that from the top turret on the exterior of the ship can go down and focus into the cargo bay, but you can't shoot. But there is an internal turret that you can. Whether it damages the ship, I do not know, though. I can't answer that question, unfortunately. Maybe someone in chat has tested that. Final question from our boy Genatonic says, can you open the secured cargo from the inside? No, you can't. At least from what I could tell. You actually you could only open the secured cargo from outside the secured cargo room, which is why some people are saying, hey, it's the new brig, because you could technically put people in those secured cargo areas, lock them, and they wouldn't be able to get out. So they kind of acts as a makeshift brig if you want. Kind of funny. So, yeah. Okay, everyone, we are going to do the giveaway. Okay, here we go. Now.
Actually, we've had all these people show up, and I'm not trying to delay anything in any way, form, or fashion, as it's not what I do. We've raised a lot tonight, so
we've raised a lot. I think we got to do one more.
I think we have to do at least one more.
Let's do one more bean, everybody. We've raised a lot of money tonight. We're at $45,175 raised.
Graphic?
Oh,
where's
yeah,
the graphic?
Let me get
You've worked so hard on this.
I know. There it is, everyone. There's the bean graphic. I made that because my daughter wanted me to. I made one for her too. It's bean time, everybody. It's bean time. Bean Boozle, we've raised a ton of money for April and half of May, $45,175. It's a STARJUMP lifetime raised of $85,000. Shout out to Dad Bod Bar TV. Big part of that. All right. Opening up the bean boozle. We'll say it in French. Oh, I just lost a bean. Let me get that because it could be destined for my dog. Okay.
I'm back. Listen here, people in chat. First of all, you don't have to deal with the repercussions of said beans. So just saying that, we'll double it and it's fine. Not acceptable.
They're saying double it. No, if you're for the giveaway, if you want to get on that and you're on YouTube, all you got to do is go to the link pinned to chat. Go to that link. It's my new player guide video. Just leave a comment on that video. It can be hi, hello, how are you? Just leave a simple comment, and I'm going to pull a random comment from today. All right, we're going to double barrel it. You heard it here, folks. They're
try it. They said, think of the kids. Why would they? They're manipulators.
Yeah, why would the kids want us to suffer? This is either Old Bandage and Pomegranate or oh God, what is this one? Or Dead Fish and Strawberry Banana Smoothie. This is not going to be good. This is going to be a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
The classic burnt rubber or licorice or wet dog and banana, which means I'm going to get.
You're going to get screwed.
I'm going to get wet dog burnt rubber.
First off, because even banana and licorice don't mix well, so you're screwed either way.
Also known as dog came in the road, swerved, and crashed.
Yeah.
That's a car accident.
Here we go, everyone. Thank you for the donations tonight. You're all amazing with double barreling this. Down the hatch, Art.
Well, that's burnt rubber off the.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh.
Nope.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Nope.
Got strawberry
all bad.
banana smoothie, and that
bad.
is counteracting the old bandage, and that's a
No.
good flavor. Oh yeah.
No.
Well, no.
No.
An aftertaste. That was not good. I just got
No,
smacked in the face.
This is hurting my
Yeah.
eyes.
Okay. That's no longer pleasant. It's no longer pleasant at all. I did have someone
that's
complain on one of my YouTube videos that they said chewing in mic, unsubscribing. Sorry I lost that person, but it is what it is.
This is exactly
Mm.
what I thought it was going to be.
It was not good.
Car accident.
Uh-uh.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
And now they've went together.
And then it's stuck in your mouth, and then you can't escape it. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
The fact that all of you are enjoying this
Mm.
just shows how cruel you are.
GLIJVD
and kind
says,
in the same way.
YouTube just messaged me that you were live. I'm sorry about that, brother. Hey, look, go to my live content. I've got all the DefenseCon shows scheduled, I believe. You can go ahead and hit the notification bell for all of them. You'll get notified right away before I go live, okay? I already have all the DefenseCon coverage scheduled for it. So all of my shows all the way out to the end of May are scheduled.
That was... I think that was like in my nose, like up, and I can smell it. I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Let's do this giveaway, everybody. Let me switch over here. We're going to do the random comment YouTube thing first. We're going to pull a random winner from there. Then we're going to put your name in the random wheel of names. Then we're going to go to Stream Elements. For all you Twitch folks who are doing exclamation ticket or exclamation ticket space mask, we're going to pull a random person from that. And your name will go in the random wheel of names. We'll then spin it. Whoever wins will get the monthly store bundle, which is the Red Line bundle. Comes with a Buccaneer paint. Really cool new flight suit from Drake. Doesn't get any better than that. I want one of these for myself. Maybe I should enter the giveaway, but I'm not. Sand Groper pulling that clip for me. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you.
No, already.
Ooh, $100 donation from Mad Weasel. Mad Weasel, thank you very much. Appreciate you, bud. That's amazing. Do appreciate it. Okay. Okay, everyone. Ooh, all right. Let's go ahead and do this. I've got today's day and the stream start time in, so it's going to pull comments from that stream start time. Good luck. We're going to go ahead and do a random YouTube comment there. Remember, if you do win, you need to contact me on Discord, StarJump_Grim. You may need to send me a friend request first, okay, or a message request. StarJump_Grim on Discord. Yeah, there we go. Picking a random comment in 3, 2, and 1. Shark is hunting, and... Stupid window pops up, and it's Jeremiah87X. Jeremiah87X, congratulations, putting your name in the random wheel of names. You're there. Welcome. Jeremiah87X. Are you still in chat, Jeremiah? You don't have to be. I give everyone 3 days to contact me regardless, but good luck. I will confirm you all. Again, this is for the Red Line patch bundle, okay? Congratulations. Next, we're going to do the good old-fashioned stream elements. I would have done, stream racers, but you all seem to like this. Jeremiah87X, there you are, buddy. Again, you're gonna Jeremiah, you're gonna have to contact me on Discord if you win. Okay, I got you in the random wheel names. If you win, StarJump_Grim. Okay, everyone. Now it's time for stream elements. Hopefully you got your tickets in. I'm going to be spinning this in 5, or closing this in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Closing that, and now it's closed. And we're going to draw a winner and scroll down to the bottom. It's there it goes. There, look at that.
What was that?
The Heretical Jester.
Oh, you got it. Well done.
I got it. I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional. Heretical Jester.
Also,
congratulations.
For the double bean thing.
Okay, I spent it already accidentally, everyone. This is the spin. I didn't mean to spend it that fast, but we're going to stick with it because it's spun. Jeremiah87X, congratulations. There you go. You won the Red Line patch bundle.
That's what they get for making us do a double.
And I wasn't seeing clearly. I accidentally hit the spin button because I was affected by the beans. But anyways, you just got to contact me via Discord, STARJUMP_Grim. I get this out to you in the next day or two. You have a little bit of time to get a hold of me. Falcon Games with the Hydrate. Appreciate that. Yeah, this was a great impromptu show, everyone. I was testing some Restream stuff to sort of get ready for the DefenseCon coverage starting on Thursday, and I think we're solid. Restream held up really good. I'm happy with what we had here. Again, do not forget to get in on those St. Jude raffles. These are the drawing dates for those specific raffles, okay? So if you donated towards a Tiburon, that $40 donation towards the Tiburon, we do that drawing on May 20th on stream, okay? You do not have to be watching the streams to win, okay? If you win, I'm going to email you, okay, to confirm that, and you'll have 7 days to get back to me, the whole deal. Okay, but these are the times and dates we do those drawings. Big shout out to GearCom for providing those ships. We've raised a lot of good money tonight. I do appreciate it. $45,275 so far for April and May. It's incredible.
Definitely a huge shout out to everybody that donated tonight.
Yes, big shout out to you all who donated.
Absolute legends.
Give your damn self an 07, for God's sakes. Give yourself a damn 07. All right. Now, it's time to figure out who we're going to raid. And I think I already have that person. Okay, I think I already have that person. We raided him the other day. But I'm going to show him a little love because I like the dude. He's a good dude. He's very knowledgeable on ships. He's got 6 viewers, so I'm sending you all over there. I want you to give him some StarJump love when you go there. Follow his channel. He's an awesome dude. I can send you over to Tree. If I can figure out.
Love Tree.
Yeah, Tree's an awesome guy. He's a real nice guy. I mean, I want to. I mean,
he's on the show.
He's going to be on the show soon. We've had some scheduling issues, but we're going to get him on the show. So, going to send you all over there. Art, appreciate you jumping on. It's been an awesome show tonight, everyone. You all are amazing. My next show will be on DefenseCon Day, Thursday. I think we start at 6 p.m., 6 or 7, one of those times. I'll look either way. I may push it to 6 to get started. We'll see. Me and Art will talk, but it's going to be on Thursday. It's going to be a massive show. Tons of giveaways, giving away an Ironclad, raffling off 3 Clippers, probably raffling off or doing a giveaway on a pit bull because I think CIG will give me one of those. It's going to be a huge night. I hope to see you all there. It's going to be an epic night. Someone's going home with an Ironclad. That being said, sending you all over to Tree now. Make sure you all have a great rest of your week. Go check out the Ironclad if you have access to it in the PTU. Hopefully they patch it so it's a little bit easier experience. But yeah, that's it. I think Tree is checking out the Ironclad now. So everyone, have a great night. Love you all. 07, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subscribes. Do appreciate it. And TV Liquid, thank you for that raid, buddy. Really appreciate you. Sending you over now, everyone. Have a great night.